Transition Awareness Breathing. Feeling grounded for both children and parents is essential for healthy living and learning. Join Eartha Powell on this series for tips and tools for creating a harmonious environment for learning. Transition Awareness Breathing will help you and your child find an individualized path to tackle change, promote lifelong learning, and discover new approaches to calmness.
Welcome to Transition Awareness Breathing Podcast. This is Eartha. I am so happy that you're joining me today because we're going to continue our discussion on getting out of that ambivalence. Before I start, I want to thank Web Talk Radio for allowing me to have a platform to bring Transition Awareness Breathing Podcast to you. And to my producers, Mary Lou and Sam, thank you for making Transition Awareness Breathing Podcast available to you wherever you are at. Riding your bike, in your home, in your office. This is a flexible program that you can take wherever you are at. Now, let's get started. Last time we talked about ambivalence. We went into a lot of detail. I hope you had a chance to kind of think about the things that you may be ambivalent on. Remember, we said that ambivalence is a state of staying in a status quo situation. It's something that we want to change about our life, our lifestyle, or maybe a relationship. And we just can't seem to make a move. We can state all the positive things about making the move, but then what we do is we cancel out each of those positive things, and we find reasons why we are kind of like frozen in that state, in that middle ground. So we're going to talk about today of some things that may help you recognize that you are ready to move off of that middle ground, that status quo. And that can be a little bit uncomfortable. And we talked about how change sometimes makes us uncomfortable. So what I would like to do is to share with you a guided step-by-step technique. It's called the quick body scan. And this is by Christopher Willard, Dr. Christopher Willard. He is the instructor of mindfulness. He's very well known in the mindfulness community. And I took my certification course in mindfulness from Dr. Willard. He published this quick body scan. It's called a quick calming body scan to check in with yourself. Back in April the 3rd, 2020, it was published in Mindfulness, Health and Mind, Healthy Life magazine, and you can find it if you Google it, and it'll pull it up. I would like to guide you through that because I think this can be very helpful when we are getting ready to make a move that's going to make us uncomfortable. And so what we do is we have to realize where we're at. Sometimes we may be a little bit anxious, and we have to recognize how that looks for us. And maybe we're not anxious, but we just can't seem to get started in beginning our new lifestyle change or whatever change. Have you ever bought a house or a car? When you know these big purchases, and you've looked at homes or you've looked at a lot of cars, and after a while you just can't look at another car. You cannot look at another house. It all begins to blur. And so you have to kind of take in the pros and the cons of each house or each car. And in that process, you're thinking about the pros. You know, what's good about this house and what's good about this car. How is it going to fit my needs? And then you look at the other side, the cons, let's think about and talk about the negative things. and you make a checklist or you talk to someone about it. So I just want to show you that even in real life situations, when we make big purchases, we are kind of dealing with a situation of moving from a state of ambivalence, because it's almost that same technique what we're doing. Looking at ourselves is what's different. We're looking at moving from one change of a lifestyle to something that's new. And so what's the best thing about ambivalence? Okay, so there's a positive side on ambivalence, really. Well, in my humble opinion, I think when we are in a state of ambivalence, it does prevent us from making any kind of impulsive decisions. Well, because you're not making any decisions. And I mean, that in itself could be a showstopper for change. But let's look at this in a positive perspective. You are looking and analyzing every step of your decision, just like you would if you're buying a big purchase. And you're looking at the negative side of that move, the other side. Let's not call it a negative side. Let's look at the other side. And I think it's very wise to look at both sides. If you're deciding where your children are going to go to a school, naturally, most parents go through this state of what's the positive, what's the negative, and we don't stay in that middle ground too long, do we? Because we have to make a decision. And so that sense of urgency, or it's time to make a decision now, that is what we want to do with ourselves when we are bringing ourselves out of a state of ambivalence. So sometimes that may cause us a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of anxiety. So I would like to walk us through this quick, calming body scan. Find a place where you're comfortable. You can stand or sit down or lie down. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And let's begin. Taking a big breath in your nose, out your mouth. Now, as you're breathing, breathe in your nose, blow out your mouth. I would like for you to bring an awareness to your chest area. Breathing in and blowing it out your mouth. Pay attention to your chest, rising and falling. Create enough room in your lungs as you breathe in that your stomach will fully expand, and then blow it out, and then your stomach goes down. Pay attention to that sensation there. Pay attention and be aware of the shallowness of your breath. Is it short or is it slow? Is it even? Is there any tightness around your chest area? Allow your breath to continue to expand your chest and then blow it out. Now, ever so gently, tighten up the chest area in your torso. Hold it for a count of 3. And notice what the sensation feels like. Allow your muscles to relax, blow out. Take a big breath in, blow it out. We're going to move to the arms. You're going to shift your awareness to your arms, from your shoulders to your fingers. Just allow your arms and your fingers to be at your side or on your lap. Breathe in and blow out. But your awareness now is going to be on your arms and your fingers, your forearm. Is your hands sweaty? Is there any shakiness? you're going to do a body scan of your arms. Tighten up your fist and hold it, and pay attention to the tenseness of the arms and your fingers. Hold it for a count of 3 breaths, and then relax. And then take nice, easy breaths, 3 more breaths, and enjoy the relaxation feeling of your arms relaxing. Next, we're going to move to the legs. Our awareness is at our legs, with your attention from the hip all the way down to your toes, the back of your legs. You're breathing in your nose, out your mouth, but your awareness is on the sensation of your legs. Is there anything, any sensations, tightness in your legs, in your feet, around your waist? Gently tense your legs. Hold it for a count of 3 breaths, and then relax your legs. Take 3 more breaths, and pay attention to the sensation of your legs and your feet relaxing. Now, we're going to bring an awareness to our mouth and our jaw. Pay attention to and bring an awareness to your facial areas. Is there any discomfort, any tightness? Keep breathing in your nose and blow it away out your mouth. Now, I'd like you to tense around your jaw on purpose and around your mouth, your jaw. Hold it for 3 breaths, breathing in your nose, out your mouth, and then blow that sensation, that tenseness away. Allow those muscles in your face, around your mouth, to relax. End of exercise. Now, let's continue. Think about what lifestyle change you want to make. Whether it's improving your eating, giving up smoking or substance or whatever it is. What is your desire? If you had to explain to someone, what would your desire be as far as what you want your lifestyle change to be? Tell someone, write it down in a journal. It's just expressing what your desires are. Is it something that you want or you would like to? Or do you start your desire by saying, I wish I could lose 10 pounds, or I wish I could eat less sweets? That's your desire. The next thing to think about and recognize is your ability. What is your capability of doing your desire towards your lifestyle change? Your ability might sound like, well, I think I can make this change or exercise in a couple of weeks. If your desire is to increase your exercise, is your internal talk, something like, well, I could probably take short walks in the morning or after my lunch? Or is your ability talk sounding like, well, I might be able to do some walking or maybe running in the evening. So if you're using words that self-talk, if you're using words like I can or I probably, that's what you're doing is you're talking about your ability. Next thing, listen to your internal talk about the reasons why you want to make these different lifestyle changes. It might sound similar to your desires, but here you want to get into a little bit more detail as the reasons why you want to make these different lifestyle changes. Maybe like if you're wanting to lose weight, your focus may be on, I will be able to fit nicely in my clothes, or I'll be able to breathe better, or my legs won't ache so much. And some things you may want to change because maybe is more economical. So explore your self-talk in what your reasons for change. And the last thing is your self-talk on why you need to change. And when you're talking about why you need to change, you might sound like, well, I need to change because I'm taking too much medications for a certain condition, and the doctor has told me if I lose some weight, that would improve my health. So you're emphasizing things like your self-talk might have, I might be able to sleep better, or I've got to get some more energy. I just feel drained. And that's your self-talk as far as your need. Now, the next step is making a commitment. What you will think about, or maybe you'll consider, or in what you plan to do for your next step. These things, while we're in this state of ambivalence, this is a systematic process. And I'm bringing this information from a reference of motivational interviewing. And the book is a motivational interviewing reference by Dr. Steve Rolnick, William R. Miller, and Christopher C. Butler. And they have done a lot of research and programs on motivational interviewing. And I think that this step-by-step process, which they refer to as an acronym, desire, ability, reasoning, and need, is DARN. So the next thing we're going to step up and talk about is our commitment. Through the next week, what is your commitment on taking that first step of getting off that status quo platform? You can do it. I invite you to join me on Facebook and see how I am sharing how I went through the transition of my lifestyle change. I'm going through the same thing that I'm sharing with you, and so I know these techniques work. Join me on Facebook. I've gotten a lot of new friends from the podcast. Come on and join us and see other people going through the same thing. I have confidence in you, and now you're building confidence within yourself that this lifestyle change that you're getting ready to make is going to be a brand new you for this brand new year. Have a great week. I'll talk to you next time.
Be sure and pick up a copy of Eartha's new book, Tab Mindfulness, Awareness and Coloring Activities in a Pandemic World. It's not just an ordinary coloring book. It features 23 illustrations to stimulate thought, relaxation, and creativity for anyone between the ages of 4 and 94. increase your positive self-talk energy, unlock new creative paths, transform your time once or twice a week to create beautiful art while strengthening confidence, building positive self-talk, and sensitize self-awareness. Tab Mindfulness, Awareness and Coloring Activities in a Pandemic World. It's available now at Amazon.com.